We're stepping right into the middle of an unfolding story that absolutely shook a nation. This isn't just about a test. It's a raw, documentary-style look into a massive youth revolt. In this explainer, we're going to examine the stark reality of the Indian education system, the ultimate breaking point of its students, and how one singular event cascaded into a nationwide movement. No distractions today, just the facts and the profound human elements behind them. Let's dive in. Imagine spending years preparing, sacrificing sleep, friendship, and family time, only to discover that someone may have cheated the system before the exam even began. That is the devastating reality so many students believed they were suddenly facing. It's an incredibly profound personal sacrifice. When you pour literally every ounce of your youth into one single goal, the mere thought that the playing field was tilted before you even sat down at your desk, it's just utterly heartbreaking. Chapter 1. The Dream of Millions. The Crush of Competitive Exams. Millions. We are talking about millions of young individuals. This isn't a localized issue affecting a few hundred or even a few thousand kids. The sheer human scale of this is staggering. Every single year, a massive population of Indian students dedicates months and very often multiple years of their lives preparing for these exams. Their entire existence completely revolves around study schedules, coaching centers, and late-night revisions. So why put yourself through this kind of torture? Well, the stakes are just monumental. We're talking prestige, university admissions to elite medical and engineering colleges, and securing highly coveted, stable government jobs. But above all that, what really hangs in the balance are entire families' savings and hopes. For many of these families, success on this exam is the one and only ticket to a better future. Failing doesn't just mean a bruised ego. It often means extreme financial pressure, the loss of life savings, and having to endure another grueling year of preparation. It's everything. Because of those massive stakes, fairness isn't just some nice expectation. It is the absolute bedrock of the entire system. If the system is unfair, everything changes. Chapter 2. The system breaks down. When allegations ignite a fire. And things didn't escalate slowly here. It was like a powder keg. It started with allegations surfacing about major national examination papers being leaked. From there, it immediately triggered a complete social media explosion. Students started asking the hard questions, demanding to know if everyone had actually competed under the exact same conditions. This online fervor quickly forced authorities to launch police investigations, which in turn only validated the students' worst fears, culminating in a fierce, totally uncontrollable nationwide outrage. Right at the heart of this crisis was the paper leak, the unauthorized release of exam questions before a test. But it's really the second half of that definition that carries all the weight, because it destroys confidence in the fairness and equal conditions of the system. For millions of students preparing in total isolation, even just the rumor of a paper leak was enough to completely shatter their trust. Social media basically became a digital town square, the central hub where this massive loss of faith was broadcasted to the whole world. Chapter 3. Taking to the streets, from online hashtags to physical marches. If you looked at the crowds out there, the placards were uniform and the message was clear. The protest demands were simple: fair exams, justice for students, and an end to paper leaks. Thousands upon thousands gathered in public spaces demanding accountability. And while it is important to note that most of these demonstrations remained completely peaceful, the sheer volume of frustration definitely boiled over in certain areas. Clashes did occur between protesters and police, leading to injuries and arrests, which just goes to show how incredibly raw the emotions were. But, the movement quickly evolved. What started as a spark, a simple demand for fair exams and an end to paper leaks, soon exploded into a much broader fire. The outcry expanded to include massive youth unemployment, the crushing systemic pressure placed on these students, and the ever-rising hyper-competitive nature of survival in the modern economy. A single exam issue had literally ignited a much larger call for systemic, foundational change. Chapter 4. The government responds, seeking accountability. The government's response basically unfolded in 3 distinct phases. First, authorities officially announced investigations into the alleged irregularities, with Prime Minister Narendra Modi publicly promising strong action against any examination fraud, which included faster legal proceedings. Second, the investigating agencies moved in, and several suspects connected to the alleged paper leak network were actually arrested. Third, and perhaps most visibly, after weeks of sustained demonstrations, Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan resigned. That resignation? It was a pivotal moment. The organizers of the protests described this specific event as an important milestone. Following the resignation and alongside government commitments to enact further education reforms, protest leaders officially declared that their key demands had been met, and as a result, those massive street demonstrations gradually began to conclude, bringing an end to the immediate physical crisis. Chapter 5, A Question of Trust, the Legacy of the Movement. When you step back, it really all boils down to a broader demand for transparency and equal opportunity. All the outrage, the arrests, the marches, it stems from one very fundamental human expectation. When millions of people prepare honestly, they expect the rules to be exactly the same for everyone. Regardless of political affiliations or backgrounds, this entire movement highlighted how deeply the youth value a fair shot. And the legacy of this revolt, honestly, it serves as a masterclass in modern activism. Social media allowed for rapid youth organization. Information, evidence, and mobilization plans were spreading within literal minutes. A localized issue at a specific exam center instantly became a national conversation. This generation has realized they have a highly effective toolset to make their voices absolutely impossible to ignore. Every generation has a moment that defines its voice, and for millions of young Indians, this was undoubtedly that moment. But looking forward, will these events actually lead to lasting, concrete reforms in how education and testing are handled? Or has the trust in the system been forever changed, regardless of what policies come next? It's a profound question about the true future of equal opportunity. Keep asking the tough questions, and I'll see you next time.